Good morning, everyone. A number of people had asked me about the Amen, a woman controversy. It created quite an uproar on social media and elsewhere, and if you are unfamiliar with the subject matter, I'm going to explain it to you on today's edition of Breakfast with the Rabbi. But first, my breakfast with the Rabbi tea. So, Congress opens each session with a prayer offered by its chaplain or guest chaplain. Among the guest chaplains are priests, rabbis, imams, bishops, ministers, pastors, etc. I delivered the invocation in April of 2018. The U.S. Senate also conducts a prayer at the opening of each of its sessions. And the American tradition of legislative prayers, by the way, goes back to 1774, but I don't remember that because I only go back to 1775. When a member of the clergy delivers the invocation, they generally will end with the word Amen, or in the Christian pronunciation, Amen, to summon those listening to acknowledge the message inherent in the prayer. Very recently, however, we saw something a bit different from Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, a Democrat from Missouri, who is also an ordained United Methodist pastor. Watch.
A man and a woman.
Okay. So, to be effective in our discussion, I will first explain the origins of both words amen and a woman. Let's start with amen. That's our pronunciation. The original and actual word, according to Jewish tradition, is pronounced amen. In Jewish tradition, there is no amen. When the ancient Greeks took control of the land of Israel, the word amen became incorporated into the Greek language, and its use began to spread to Christian and Muslims as well. The amen pronunciation, as I mentioned before, is not used by Jews. It's used by most Christian denominations, and the vowel change to a, as in ay, is believed to have come about in the 15th century. Now, the word amen means may it be so. It goes back to the Torah, to the Bible, in the book of Devarim, in Deuteronomy, and it's used as a confirmatory response. And today, it's commonly used as such. The most basic example, someone makes the blessing of motzi over bread, and all who listen answer, Amen. The word is also mentioned in the book of Bamidbar, in the book of Numbers, in relation to the acceptance of an oath. Amen is also the root of the Hebrew word for faith, which means emunah. So saying amen declares our belief in God. Amen is also an acronym for the words El Melech Ne'eman, which means God the trusted King. You may be familiar with a minhag, which actually is stated by the Ramah, Rabbi Moses Isserlis. He writes that one who is praying alone should add the words El Melech Ne'eman before reciting Shema Yisrael. Minhag, by the way, being the custom. That is the custom of many, not all, but many do have the custom of saying the words El Melech Ne'eman, and then they go right into the Shema Yisrael. Why is that? These words are very compatible with the theme of Shema, because just prior to its recitation, we are obligated to accept upon ourselves the yoke of heaven. We declare the sovereignty of the one true God. Now, as far as the word a woman is concerned, there is no such word in any language. In Hebrew, the word for man is either Adam or Ish, and the word for woman is Isha. The word amen or amen in the Christian pronunciation has nothing to do at all with one's gender. Congressman Cleaver told the press that his words were simply, and I quote, a lighthearted pun in recognition of the record number of women who will be representing the American people in Congress during this term. Now, as far as his assertion that a woman is a pun, I too am into puns. Anybody who knows me knows that's the case. But I find nothing funny about his attempted joke. As far as his desire to recognize the important role of women, I think that's wonderful. But Congressman Cleaver did not accomplish that task at all. All he did, in my opinion, was turn the invocation into a derision fest. And don't take my word for it. All you need to do is go online and see what I'm saying. I do not believe that Representative Cleaver is a stupid person. I believe he knew full well that in today's contentious society, his words would be subject to scorn. Now, I think that a much larger issue exists here beyond Congressman Cleaver. There is a strong desire on the part of many professionals to be political icons and activists. We see this trend in sports, Hollywood, media, in many different professions, and certainly clergy are no exception. In Cleaver's case, he's an activist for gender equality. He may be an activist for many other things, but I'm speaking specifically about his actions in regard to the prayer before Congress. Now, I'm not that shallow. I do realize that he's also a politician. He is a member of Congress. King Solomon declares in the book of Kohelet, the book of Ecclesiastes, however, that there is a time and place for everything. When Representative Cleaver delivered the prayer, he was acting in a clerical role. Clergy have a right to say and advocate for many things that are important to them in their own pulpits. I have spoken out on a whole host of issues that are important to me. If a member of the clergy wants to reach a larger audience, make a video, write an op-ed piece, write an article for a publication. When I delivered the opening prayer before Congress, I realized it was not my pulpit. The House of Representatives is called the People's House. As such, people have many different points of view and come from many different backgrounds. It is incumbent upon clergy delivering the opening prayer to recognize that. Firstly, the public needs to understand the words that are articulated in the opening prayer, because again, it is the people who give the clergy member the privilege of saying those words to the nation. There is also an expectation among the people that the prayer will be recited in a reverential manner and sacred tone. And by the way, this is not even such a political issue, because even some progressive people who I spoke with did not understand the meaning of a woman, and they felt that it undermined the activism on behalf of gender equality. What good is activism if nobody knows what it is? If it's just, as I said before, if it just becomes an object of derision. More importantly, and this is the true message that I want to bring out, members of the clergy selected to speak before the House or Senate chamber have a unique opportunity before them. Clergy can often be a sober and soothing presence, creating an island of holiness in a chamber plagued with discord and pettiness. The United States Senate and the House of Representatives consists of two political parties, primarily, each side waiting with bated breath for the other to fall flat on its face. Everybody knows that all you got to do is watch a session of Congress or the Senate, and that can readily be seen. The role of a person of God, okay, you see, I'm playing it safe. The role of a person of God, not a man of God, but not a woman of God, but the role of a person of God delivering the invocation is to rise above the fray and be a beacon of light that all people, regardless of political persuasion, can look up to for hope and inspiration. Naturally, each one of us comes to the table with some very strong opinions about many issues. I know I do. Our objective must be to achieve a healthy balance between our zeal and fervor on the one hand, and respect and deference for other people who do not share our views on the other hand. And if we can accomplish that task, we will be on our way to creating an island of sanity in an insane world. May it be our blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Amen.